This is the Zelos Hammerhead Field Bedrock, a watch with specs suitable for a dive watch and a build that boasts a brutally beautiful design that's fitting for the nature of its bronze case. It's a beast of a timepiece, no doubt, and it has elements which make it a lot more interesting than your ordinary tool watch. So let's explore together and see what this watch is all about. For starters, the dial has a neutral color, but its hammered texture adds a whole lot of depth that I think pairs well with the theme of the watch. It's a predominantly grey dial, with a gradient effect that blends effortlessly into the shadows produced by the dimples that scatter the surface. This gradient includes a slight touch of brown, which is very subtle, but becomes more apparent under the sun or harsh light, and it's this small detail that helps to connect the dial to the bronze hue of the case itself. Because it also transitions to that grey tone, when the watch patinas, it should also look quite nice and cohesive, as the grey highlights the bronze while it's fresh and will become a highlight itself as the watch ages, without being over the top. If you're used to the Hammerhead Diver from Zelos, you might have noticed the dial on this one is a little different. Its dial surface is larger in diameter, perfect for a field watch, and in turn allows for the introduction of numerals, which really give it its field watch flair and separates it from its diver siblings. These numerals also differ from the rest of the hour markers, lacking any sort of frame, but they don't lack in lume because they're essentially a whole block of it, made of lumicast. This gives them a three-dimensional appearance instead of your typical print, and the choice to forego the same bronze tone border found on the other indices emphasizes this aspect a lot more. The hour markers are polished and rectangular in shape, except for the 12 o'clock indicator, which takes on a larger form with a wider base and tapers to a pointed tip. Each one is beveled nicely, a decision that ties in well with the extremely faceted case, and the handset follows suit with facets of its own. The hour hand is blocky and slightly wider than the minute hand, and they're differentiated with a blunted end and a sharp end. The seconds hand is like a smaller version of the 12 o'clock marker, similar in shape with an extended pointer tip for accurate reading of the seconds. All hour markers and hands are lumed, and we also get a ring of lume around the dial, this being the minute track. The lume here is extremely good, so there won't be any visibility issues in the dark, and while lume isn't really a draw point for me, the addition of lume on the minute track really makes the watch a fun sight at night. The case on this Hammerhead Field is what really forms the identity of the watch. It's coming in at 43mm with a lug-to-lug of 48mm, and it's made of bronze, a material which gives it that warm golden glow, and over time, this will patina to a darker color with a unique pattern of its own that will be different to any other Hammerhead or bronze watch out there, so there will never be two identical watches. The case itself is quite intricate, despite its bulky architecture, featuring a multitude of facets and finishes that really elevates the timepiece. The top surface has circular brushing that runs into arched chamfers with a fine-grained matte finish. These then transition into clean cuts with horizontal brushing which highlight that straight edge, and finally ends back on that matte finish for the tip of the lugs. The bezel also incorporates this heavily faceted design with arched cuts that create a sharp appearance when looking head-on, and each of these bezel points match up with each hour marker for a very satisfying composition. The edge of the bezel also pairs nicely with the horizontally brushed edge of the case, as their surfaces alone provide enough sheen to offset the absence of polishing. The strap supplied is a 22mm black FKM rubber strap, with vent-like cutouts on either side towards the lugs. It's soft to the touch and very pliable, but still has a sturdy feeling to it with enough stiffness to provide structure without sacrificing articulation. The buckle is also bronze to match the case, and it too continues that faceted look, which I appreciate. It has the Zelos logo etched in on the top and has a nice recessed lip for the strap to slide into, so it will sit a lot more flush to the wrist and stay secure. Now, the watch is large. However, It feels rather nice on my 6.5-inch wrist, and a lot of that is thanks to the 48mm lug-to-lug. It makes it so the watch doesn't overhang my wrist, allowing the strap to also contour a lot better, and the way the lug tips point downwards also helps the watch head sit closer to the wrist. For a larger watch, it feels quite comfortable, more than it looks, but it is on the thicker end when it comes to field watches, standing at 13mm tall with a flat sapphire crystal, so the bulkiness is definitely there. It does have 300 meters of water resistance though, so it's not thick for no reason, and for a field watch, that's an impressive stat. In terms of the vents on the strap, they do help with getting rid of trapped moisture, be it from sweat, rain, or general water exposure. However, this never really bothered me, so I just see them as more of an aesthetic choice, which I don't mind at all given the type of watch it is. Now, if you don't like the strap, you will need a spring bar tool to get it off, which is unusual for Zelos, as their straps usually come with quick release spring bars, so if you don't have one on hand, that's something to keep in mind. Now, the case back on this watch has a relief of some hammerhead sharks, a nod to the name of the watch, and as you can see, it's not made of bronze, but is instead made of stainless steel. A smart decision that will save your wrist from staining green and black when the bronze patinas. It's unfortunate that we don't get to see the movement behind it, but the motif of the shark is still nice to look at. The movement powering the watch is the Seiko NH38, a no-date movement with a hacking seconds and hand winding, and features 41 hours of power reserve with an accuracy rating of -20 seconds to +40 seconds a day, though it often performs better than that. On paper, the NH38 doesn't sound anything special, and that's what's good about it. It's a standard, familiar caliber, widely used and tested, so it has a workhorse reputation that we can rely on, and it's easy to maintain and service. It's also an area that keeps the cost of the watch down, allowing it to be priced at $399 US, which is quite a compelling price point, considering it's a watch that offers a uniquely faceted and finished bronze case, sapphire crystal with inner AR coating, a textured gradient dial with detailed dial components and hands, 300 meters of water resistance, and some incredible lume along with those 3D numerals. There's a lot to like about the watch, and at the same time, it's not a watch for everyone. It's definitely better suited for those with larger wrists and people who like the heft of a watch, and if you're not a fan of bronze, then this specific hammerhead might not be the one for you. If you're after something different though, with specifications that can handle most activities and environments, this could be it. Overall, I think it's a great offering from Zelos. It expands the hammerhead collection, slims down the profile of the diver slightly, and caters to a wider audience. Zelos are no strangers when it comes to incorporating different materials and dial designs, and this here is an example of that. While it won't be everyone's cup of tea, it shows that they're still willing to push out more unique timepieces, which will ultimately lead to bigger and better things. Let me know your thoughts on the watch, and let me know if you've ever owned a bronze watch yourself. Thank you for watching the video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more watch content. I'll see you in the next one.